The stars blinked cold and distant, like eyes watching a war that hadn't yet begun. Captain Arlen of Earth's last fleet tightened his grip on the console, staring at the galactic map that stretched across the bridge. Every blip represented an enemy ship, and every blip moved with purpose, closing in on humanity's core worlds. For years, the galaxy had whispered about Earth, about humans being primitive and weak, but now the whispers had turned into bold threats. And the fleet knew the truth. No one underestimated humans for long. The alarm bells rang suddenly, jarring the crew from their tense silence. Lieutenant Mara shouted, "Captain! Sensors show multiple enemy fleets converging on the Sol system. They've coordinated faster than we expected." Arlen's jaw tightened. He leaned over the holographic display, eyes scanning the enemy positions. "They think they can crush us," he said quietly, almost to himself. "They have no idea what's coming." The bridge crew exchanged worried glances. Their fleet was large, yes, but many ships were older models, barely holding together after years of service. And yet, in the silence between explosions that hadn't happened yet, there was something different about these humans. Something that made even the most arrogant alien commanders hesitate in their reports. Suddenly, the space around them shimmered. A massive wave of energy pulsed across the sensors, and every officer on the bridge froze. A new object had appeared at the edge of the Sol system, a ship unlike anything they had seen before. Its hull was black, absorbing light like a void, and yet it moved with precision, cutting through the vacuum with a terrifying calm. Mara's voice trembled slightly. "Captain, that ship, it's enormous. And it's heading straight for the fleet." Arlen's eyes narrowed. "Prepare weapons. Shields up. Target any threat that approaches. But hold fire until I give the order." The ship drew closer, silent, massive, unstoppable. The crew felt a cold dread settle over them, but there was also a spark of something else. Hope. This was no ordinary human vessel. It was the kind of ship that legends were made of, the kind that old stories whispered about in fear and awe. A transmission cut through the comms, deep and resonant, carrying a voice that vibrated with authority. "You wanted war. Now you'll have it." Every crew member on the bridge froze. The words were simple, but the meaning was clear. Humanity was here. And humanity was not asking for peace. The alien fleets began to react, confusion spreading like wildfire through their ranks. They had heard of Earth's fleet, sure, but none had believed in the legends of the Deadworlders' wrath, or the stories of the warships that could annihilate entire star systems in minutes. Panic rippled through the enemy lines as the massive human ship accelerated, weaving between their formations effortlessly. Arlen's heart pounded, but his hands were steady. "All units, stay sharp. Watch their formations. They may be large in number, but they are not coordinated like us. Let them make the first mistake." The first shots rang out, streaks of plasma and ion beams tearing through the darkness. But the new human ship moved faster than anything anyone expected, intercepting enemy fire, deflecting it with shields that seemed almost alive. Explosions lit the void in a horrifyingly beautiful pattern, alien ships disintegrating before they could even reach firing range. On the bridge, silence fell for a heartbeat, broken only by the low hum of the engines. Then came the first cheer, a cautious, disbelief-filled roar, as an enemy dreadnought erupted in flames. Another followed. And then another. Arlen leaned back slightly, his face a mixture of grim determination and awe. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "We've been ready, but I think they weren't ready for us." Mara's hands hovered over the controls, hesitant, almost afraid to act. "Captain, they're unstoppable." "Not unstoppable," Arlen corrected. "Just underestimated. And that is always a mistake. Remember this, crew. The galaxy thought they could control humans. The galaxy thought they could threaten us. And now, they will learn the cost." Outside the viewport, stars were torn apart by the power of one human ship. Each movement was precise, deliberate, and devastating. The fleet followed its lead, inspired, emboldened, ready to fight for every world that was humanity's. And in the shadows beyond, the alien commanders whispered in disbelief, realizing far too late that they had awoken something far beyond their understanding. The last words from the human ship echoed across every communication channel in the system. You wanted war, now you'll have it. And the war had only just begun. The alien fleets scattered like frightened prey, their formations broken, their commanders shouting frantic orders across failing comm channels. The massive human ship moved like a predator through the chaos, cutting a path with deadly precision. Behind it, Earth's fleet followed, smaller, older vessels gaining confidence as they saw the sheer destruction one human ship could cause. Captain Arlen stood at the bridge, his eyes fixed on the viewport. The sight of alien ships exploding in brilliant flashes of plasma and fire filled him with a grim satisfaction, but he knew the battle had only just begun. This was not a simple skirmish, it was a warning. And the galaxy had ignored every warning for too long. Lieutenant Mara's fingers flew over the controls, targeting systems locking onto scattered enemy fighters. Captain, they're retreating toward the outer colonies. They're trying to regroup. Arlen's lips tightened. Let them run. We follow carefully, but no ship gets left behind. We keep formation tight. This is a hunt now. Outside, the stars were alive with movement. Alien cruisers darted through space, attempting to escape, but even at their fastest speeds, they were no match for the human ship. Its engines emitted a strange blue light, bending physics in ways that had no name in any alien database. It wasn't just fast, it was precise, calculating, and impossible to predict. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected something unusual, a faint energy signature emanating from a nearby nebula. It pulsed like a heartbeat, hidden behind clouds of ionized gas and dust. Arlen frowned. Mara, what is that? Unknown, she said, adjusting the scanners. But, it's big. Very big. It's moving toward us. The fleet fell silent, tension tightening like a drawn bow. The aliens were still disorganized, but this new presence, whatever it was, felt ancient, dangerous. Something in the sensor readings suggested power far beyond what any enemy they had faced so far could wield. Arlen's voice was steady, but his mind raced. All units, hold positions. Prepare for the unexpected. Keep weapons charged and shields ready. Mara, send a warning to the other colonies. Tell them to evacuate anything that can fly. The nebula seemed to twist around itself, a living mass of gas and light. And then, through the swirling clouds, the silhouette emerged, a ship unlike any seen before. It was massive, dwarfing the human dreadnought, with jagged armor plating that shimmered in the light of nearby stars. Alien runes, or perhaps warnings, glowed faintly along its hull. It radiated authority, power, and something else, hatred. Mara swallowed hard. Captain, it's coming straight for us. Arlen's hand hovered over the comms. All units, follow me. Engage only if necessary. Do not panic. The massive alien vessel moved with deliberate intent, its weapon systems charging with deadly anticipation. Explosions erupted on the outer edges of the fleet as smaller ships were shredded in seconds. The human ship responded, but even it seemed to hesitate, as if measuring the weight of this new opponent. Arlen's eyes narrowed. This is no ordinary enemy. They've been waiting, watching. And now, they've chosen to strike. Inside the massive alien ship, a cold voice echoed across the void, carried through subspace frequencies that humans barely understood. You dare challenge the galaxy? You dare awaken what was long buried? Back on the bridge, every crew member felt the words in their bones. Fear. Yes. But also, something else. The thrill of the fight, the fire of humanity refusing to bow, ignited a fierce determination. Captain, Mara said, her voice trembling slightly but firm. We can't let them reach the colonies. If they do, billions could die. Arlen took a deep breath. Then we stop them here. No mercy. No hesitation. Humanity will not beg. Humanity will fight, and humanity will survive. The massive alien ship unleashed its first attack, a beam of energy that ripped through the void like a blade of white-hot fire. Smaller ships were vaporized instantly, their screams lost in the vacuum. The human dreadnought leaped forward, deflecting the beam with shields that shimmered like molten metal, then responded with a volley of missiles and plasma cannons. The battle escalated. Every maneuver was precise, calculated. Every shot counted. The fleet had never seen anything like it. And yet, amidst the destruction, a pattern emerged: human ingenuity, strategy, and courage turning the tide where numbers alone could not. Arlen's voice boomed across the bridge. Focus on the weak points. Target the engines. Watch their flanks. Show them why humans are never the ones to underestimate. The crew moved like a single organism, weapons firing in perfect coordination, shields shifting to protect the vulnerable. Explosions lit the darkness, painting the stars in fire and shadow. And as the alien vessel faltered for the first time, the human ship surged forward, striking with calculated fury. Outside, the battlefield seemed alive, a deadly dance of light and fire. And for the first time, the galaxy's observers began to realize, humans were not just surviving, they were rewriting the rules of war. Arlen's eyes met Mara's. This is only the beginning. If they want war, we'll give them more than they ever imagined. And somewhere in the shadows, the massive alien ship hesitated, its pulse flickering, sensing that it had encountered something far older, far deadlier than it had predicted. The massive alien ship hovered at the edge of the nebula, its shadow stretching across the stars like a warning. Captain Arlen's fleet had slowed, carefully circling the enemy, waiting for the right moment to strike again. But the dreadnought's crew could feel it. This was no ordinary fight. The alien vessel radiated intelligence and raw power, moving with a purpose that was almost personal. Lieutenant Mara leaned over her console, scanning for weaknesses. Captain, the readings are unusual. Their shields fluctuate, but not like any energy pattern we've seen. It's almost organic. Arlen frowned, eyes narrowing. Organic or not, we can't wait. Every second we hesitate, the colonies are at risk. Plot a trajectory, flank them from both sides. Full firepower when I give the order. The human ship surged forward, engines blazing, and the fleet followed in perfect formation. Outside the viewport, stars streaked past in a blur of motion, and the alien vessel reacted immediately, twisting its massive frame with deadly elegance. A pulse of energy burst from its hull, knocking several smaller ships out of formation and sending them tumbling into space. Damage report. Arlen barked. 2 frigates lost, shields weakened on 3 cruisers, Mara replied. But no critical losses, yet. Arlen clenched his jaw. Keep the formation. Focus on precision. Humans do not panic. Humans do not break. And humans never stop fighting. The alien vessel emitted a soundless pulse that rattled the human ship's structure, a sensation that felt like gravity itself was bending around them. Crew members gripped consoles to stay upright, the hum of power vibrating through the deck. And then, through the comms, a voice spoke, cold, menacing, yet tinged with respect. You are resilient. But resilience will not save you. Arlen didn't flinch. You have underestimated humanity before. You will do it again. With a sudden roar, the human dreadnought unleashed a volley of missiles, plasma bolts, and guided ion beams. The alien ship twisted to evade, but for the first time, it flinched, its massive shields shivering under the combined assault. Explosions lit the void, painting the stars in deadly fire. Behind the main ship, smaller human vessels executed a perfect pincer maneuver. Alien fighters tried to escape, but humans were faster, smarter. Every strike was calculated, every movement precise. The aliens realized too late that they were being hunted, not fighting a war. Mara's voice was tense but steady. Captain, we've found a weak point in their hull. Targeting systems locked. Arlen's eyes gleamed. Now. The human fleet struck as one, weapons converging on the alien ship's exposed sections. A massive shockwave tore through space, knocking debris and energy fragments across the battlefield. The alien vessel shuddered violently, its pulse flickering, shields sparking. For the first time, the crew saw the impossible. The unstoppable, all-powerful ship was vulnerable. Direct hit confirmed. Mara shouted, relief and exhilaration in her voice. Arlen allowed himself a brief nod. Maintain pressure. We cannot give them time to recover. The moment they think they can fight back, we end this. But just as the fleet surged forward, the alien vessel released a hidden weapon, an array of dark energy cannons, firing in perfect synchronization. Ships were torn apart instantly, vaporized in streaks of light. The human fleet faltered, shields straining against the unprecedented power. Evasive maneuvers. Shields maximum. Arlen commanded, his voice cutting through panic like steel. The crew responded flawlessly, twisting, dodging, and firing in perfect coordination. Even in the face of overwhelming odds, they refused to break. The alien voice returned, cold and unyielding. You fight with courage, but courage alone cannot save you. Arlen leaned close to Mara's console. Courage is more than strength. It is survival. And survival is humanity's greatest weapon. With a sudden precise strike, the human ship activated a hidden system, ancient technology lost to myths and legends, capable of disrupting enemy shields. Energy surged outward, hitting the alien vessel like a hammer of light. Shields flared and failed in places, hull armor cracked, and the alien ship staggered, forced to retreat slightly. Outside, the stars seemed to hold their breath. The alien fleet hesitated, recognizing for the first time that these humans were not just fighters, they were predators. Calculating, relentless, and utterly fearless. Arlen stood tall on the bridge, voice low but resolute. We fight for every world. For every life. And we never, ever surrender. Prepare for the next wave. They may be strong, but they've never faced humanity like this before. As the alien ship retreated toward the outer rim, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake, a quiet realization settled over the crew. This battle was only the beginning. Humanity had shown the galaxy its strength, but the galaxy was far from finished. Somewhere out there, even greater threats waited, watching, planning, and growing. The final words from the dreadnought's comms reverberated across the fleet. You thought we were weak. You thought we would bow. You thought humanity was small. You were wrong. And you will learn, as every star learns in time. Never underestimate Earth. And in the silence that followed, only one truth remained. The war had begun in earnest, and the galaxy would never be the same. The galaxy trembled in silence, but only for a moment. Captain Arlen's fleet moved cautiously, repairing minor damages and reorganizing after the brutal clash. Yet the bridge hummed with a tense energy, the kind that comes just before the storm. The alien vessel had retreated, but it was far from defeated. And humans knew that retreat did not mean surrender. Lieutenant Mara's eyes never left the monitors. Captain, sensors are picking up something unusual. Multiple signals, hidden behind the outer asteroid fields. They're gathering. Arlen leaned forward, frowning. Reinforcements. They've learned from their mistakes already. Mara shook her head. Not exactly. It's different. These ships, they're ancient. Old models, maybe from before recorded history. But their energy output, massive. Almost unnatural. The bridge fell silent. Every crew member understood what that meant. The fight was about to escalate. Humanity had faced enemies before, but this was something entirely new. Prepare the fleet, Arlen ordered. We engage only if necessary, but stay ready. And Mara, he paused, voice low, sharp with intensity. Track everything. Every signal. Every ship. We cannot allow surprises. Outside, the stars were calm, almost deceptively so. Then, slowly, from the asteroid fields, they began to emerge. Hundreds of ships, glinting in the distant light, forming a dark cloud that stretched across the void. These were not the smaller, uncoordinated fighters they had faced before. These were war machines, engineered for destruction, each one a relic of an ancient civilization that had long feared Earth's potential. Mara's voice trembled slightly. "Captain, they're massive. Each ship could destroy a colony with one strike." Arlen's jaw tightened. "Then we make sure they never reach the colonies. Everyone ready? This is humanity's stand. We fight here, and we fight hard." The human fleet surged forward, shields glowing, weapons primed. The alien warships responded, firing volleys of energy that lit the stars in terrifying bursts. Explosions erupted as debris, and smaller ships were obliterated instantly. Yet the humans did not falter. They moved with precision, their older vessels compensating with tactics and cunning that technology alone could not achieve. Suddenly, one of the massive alien ships accelerated with impossible speed, heading straight for a human cruiser. Its energy cannons flared, aiming for a direct hit. Evasive maneuvers. Full shields. Arlen roared. The cruiser twisted, narrowly avoiding annihilation, but the sheer force of the strike sent it spinning violently. Another ship moved in, intercepting the alien vessel with a perfectly timed missile barrage. The impact rocked the alien ship, but it continued forward, relentless, as though nothing could stop it. Mara's hands flew over the controls. "Captain, there are patterns in their attack. They're coordinating in ways we've never seen. It's almost like they know our every move before we make it." Arlen's eyes narrowed. Predictable. Every intelligent species becomes predictable when it underestimates the one they face. Let them think they know us. Then, hit them where it hurts. The human dreadnought activated another secret system, a weapon designed in the early days of Earth's interstellar expansion. Energy beams shot out in arcs, striking multiple alien ships simultaneously. One by one, the massive vessels faltered, systems failing, hulls tearing under the sustained assault. Yet even in their moment of advantage, the alien commanders were clever. One massive ship, larger than anything Arlen had seen, activated a dark energy shield that absorbed incoming fire. It retaliated with a wave of destructive energy, tearing through human ships like paper. Explosions lit the darkness, screams lost to the vacuum. Arlen clenched his fists. No retreat. No surrender. Every world counts. Every life counts. Humanity will not bow. As the battle intensified, Mara spotted a hidden signal. "Captain, there's a command ship, larger than the rest. It's directing the fleet from behind the asteroid belt. If we take it out, we might turn the tide." Arlen nodded grimly. "Then that's our target. Prepare a strike team. Small, fast, lethal. Mara, plot a course." Outside, the stars burned with war. Energy beams, missiles, and plasma tore through the void as both sides fought with desperate fury. The human fleet, though outnumbered, moved like a single entity, coordinated perfectly, exploiting weaknesses that the aliens didn't even know existed. And as the strike team launched toward the massive command ship, a message echoed across all channels, sent in a voice as cold as space itself. "You may have survived, for now. But humanity cannot win this war. The galaxy will remember this day as the day you fell." Arlen's voice cut through the comms, steady and full of defiance. "You will remember this day as the day you awakened humanity's wrath. And we do not fall. We fight. And we will win." The asteroid fields exploded in brilliant flashes as the strike team disappeared into the shadows, heading for the heart of the alien fleet. Outside, the stars seemed to hold their breath. Somewhere deep in the void, the galaxy's most dangerous fleets realized they had underestimated humanity, and now they would pay the price. The strike team moved silently through the asteroid belt, weaving between massive rocks and hidden debris, their small ships barely visible against the black void. Captain Arlen's eyes were glued to the monitors, tracking every movement. The command ship loomed ahead, enormous and foreboding, directing the alien fleet like a conductor leading a deadly symphony. Lieutenant Mara adjusted the scanners. "Captain, their defenses are incredible. Shields, energy barriers, automated turrets. It's like they expected us." Arlen's jaw tightened. Then we make them pay for every second they underestimated humanity. Target their weak points. Move fast. Hit hard. We do this cleanly, or the colonies pay the price. Outside, stars streaked by as the small strike ships accelerated. The alien command ship pulsed with energy, each pulse sending shockwaves across space, shattering smaller ships in its wake. Yet the human vessels moved with unmatched precision, dodging, weaving, and retaliating in perfect synchronization. "Captain, they've deployed interceptors," Mara warned. "Small, fast, heavily armed. They're heading straight for us." Arlen's eyes narrowed. "Let them come. They won't survive." The interceptors closed in like a swarm of deadly hornets, firing plasma bolts and energy beams. Human pilots dodged, countering with missiles and ion disruptors. Explosions lit the void, painting the stars in chaos. Yet even as they destroyed the interceptors, more seemed to appear, an endless tide of aggression. Mara's fingers flew over the controls. "Captain, the command ship is firing its main cannons. The energy waves are massive. They'll destroy our ships if we don't act now." Arlen leaned over, voice calm but sharp. "This is why we fight smarter, not just harder. Deploy the quantum disruptors. Target their shield generators. Make them vulnerable." The human strike team surged forward, weapons firing in a deadly dance. Quantum disruptors collided with the command ship's shields, creating cracks that flickered like lightning across its massive hull. Explosions tore through sections of the ship, sending chunks of debris drifting into space. Inside the alien vessel, alarms blared. Commanders shouted orders, but chaos had already begun. "They are impossible. How do they know every move?" one alien officer hissed. Arlen's voice cut through the comms, full of authority and defiance. "Humans fight with courage, with strategy, and with every resource we have. You cannot predict the heart of a human, and it will always surprise you." The command ship faltered, shields failing in several critical points. Human ships poured fire into the gaps, exploiting every weakness. The alien fleet's formations began to crumble as communication lines were disrupted, and panic spread among their ranks. Mara's voice trembled with excitement. "Captain, direct hit. Their engines are failing. We can stop them." Arlen's lips curled into a small, grim smile. "Not just stop them, we end this threat before it spreads. Prepare the boarding pods. We go in, finish this, and send a message to the galaxy. Humanity does not negotiate with terror." The strike team split, boarding pods launching silently toward the crippled command ship. Inside, the alien crew scrambled, confused and terrified. They had expected humans to flee under pressure, not attack with relentless precision. Arlen watched every move, calculating the risks. "Remember this, crew," he said, voice low but fierce. "We fight for every colony, every world, every life. We fight not because we want war, but because war has come to us. And we will not bow." The boarding pods hit the hull with a controlled explosion, breaching the alien vessel. Human soldiers poured inside, moving like shadows, striking with lethal efficiency. Alien crews tried to resist, but the humans were prepared, disciplined, and unstoppable. Each room cleared, each corridor fought, each enemy neutralized. From the main deck, the alien commander's voice rang out, shaking with disbelief. "Impossible! You cannot. You are too strong." Arlen's reply came through the comms, steady and unwavering. "Strength is not just power. It is courage, it is strategy, it is unity. Humanity is all of these. And more. You underestimated us. That was your first mistake. Your last will be your end." Outside, the alien fleet wavered, directionless, leaderless. Their command ship crippled, their morale shattered, the tide of battle had shifted irreversibly. Humanity's fleet pressed forward, relentless, precise, unyielding. As the human boarding team secured the command ship, Arlen allowed himself a brief, satisfied breath. The message has been sent. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not beg. Humanity fights, and we will always prevail. And somewhere, deep in the outer reaches of the galaxy, commanders of alien empires whispered in fear, realizing far too late, when humans decide to fight, the universe itself can bend to their will. The alien command ship was silent now, its corridors littered with wreckage and stunned enemies. Captain Arlen's boarding team moved like shadows, systematically clearing every compartment. Outside, the human fleet maintained tight formation, guarding against reinforcements, but the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. Lieutenant Mara's fingers danced over the console. "Captain, sensors are picking up something we didn't expect. There's another signal, deep within the command ship. Something massive, ancient." Arlen frowned. "Ancient? What do you mean?" "It's hard to explain. It's not just a ship. It feels alive. And it's powering up." A cold shiver ran down Arlen's spine. He had faced countless threats, but nothing like this. "Prepare the fleet for anything. This may be bigger than we thought." Inside the alien ship, the corridors began to tremble. Walls shifted, and strange energy crackled along the floors and ceilings. The boarding team paused, eyes wide. Mara's voice echoed in their comms. "Captain, the ship itself, it's reacting to us. We're triggering something." Arlen clenched his jaw. "Then we finish quickly. Identify the source and neutralize it before it changes the battle entirely." The team advanced, finally reaching a massive chamber at the heart of the vessel. And there it was, a colossal alien engine, glowing with an eerie, pulsating light. It seemed alive, its energy thrumming like a heartbeat. Every officer who approached felt the power reverberate through their bones. Mara gasped. "Captain, this isn't just a weapon. It's a doomsday engine. It could obliterate entire star systems if it activates fully." Arlen's eyes hardened. "Then we destroy it. Now." As the boarding team prepared explosives, the alien commander appeared, flanked by heavily armed guards. "You cannot stop it," he hissed. "This is the galaxy's reckoning. Humanity will fall, as all others have before you." Arlen stepped forward, voice calm but fierce. "You forgot one thing. Humanity doesn't fall. Humanity fights. And humanity survives. Always." The two sides clashed in a furious melee. Humans moved with precise coordination, neutralizing alien guards with lethal skill. The commander unleashed waves of energy from the doomsday engine, but the boarding team anticipated it, dodging, countering, and pressing forward. Outside, the human fleet fought off incoming alien reinforcements. Massive ships collided in the void, energy beams tearing through shields and hulls. Explosions lit the stars, painting the battlefield in fire and shadow. Yet the humans remained focused, each ship protecting the other, each strike calculated and precise. Back inside the command ship, Arlen reached the core of the doomsday engine. The pulsating energy threatened to engulf him, but he pressed forward, determined. "Prepare for detonation," he ordered. "Set charges. We end this now." Mara's voice crackled in his ear. "Captain, the engine is resisting. It's almost alive. It knows what we're doing." Arlen's hands didn't falter. "It can try. But humans have faced impossible odds before. We survive. And today, it dies." With a final push, the charges were set. The team retreated to the boarding pods as the engine began to overload. Energy surged through the ship, ripping walls apart, shaking the entire vessel. The alien commander screamed, realizing too late that his doomsday weapon would destroy everything he had fought to protect. Outside, the human fleet watched as the command ship erupted in a blinding explosion. Energy waves ripped through the void, throwing smaller ships into chaos. But the humans had anticipated it, shields holding, engines firing, retreating just enough to survive the blast. When the light faded, silence filled the void. The alien fleet, leaderless and broken, began to retreat in disarray. Their morale shattered, their forces scattered, they had no choice but to flee from a species they had long underestimated. Arlen stood on the bridge of the human dreadnought, chest heaving, eyes fixed on the remnants of the destroyed command ship. "It's over," he said quietly. "For now. But the galaxy will remember this day. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not beg. Humanity fights. And we always survive." Mara's voice was soft but proud. "Captain, the colonies are safe. The fleet held. We did it." Arlen allowed himself a rare smile. "Yes. But remember this victory is a message. The galaxy thought Earth was weak. They thought humans could be controlled. They were wrong. Dead wrong." Outside the dreadnought, stars glittered like witnesses to humanity's defiance. And somewhere, in the far reaches of space, other powers took note. Humanity had awoken in full force, unstoppable, unyielding, and relentless. The last words across every comm channel were simple, clear, and unforgettable. "You wanted war, you got it. And this is only the beginning." The stars were eerily silent after the destruction of the alien command ship. The human fleet drifted through the void, engines humming softly, shields pulsing faintly after the recent battle. Captain Arlen stood on the bridge of the dreadnought, eyes scanning the distant horizon. For now, the galaxy was quiet, but Arlen knew better. Silence was only the calm before the next storm. Lieutenant Mara broke the quiet. "Captain, sensors are detecting multiple signals approaching from beyond the outer rim. They're different. Larger. Older. But they're not attacking yet." Arlen's eyes narrowed. Observation only? Or preparation for something worse? Either way, we stay ready. Humans do not wait for the storm, we face it head-on. Outside, the approaching fleet appeared, a massive formation of ships unlike anything humans had ever seen. Their hulls shimmered with strange alloys, their energy output enormous, but there was hesitation in their movement. They had witnessed the destruction of the alien command ship. They had felt the fury of humanity. Mara's voice trembled with awe. "Captain, they've never seen humans like this before. And now, they're cautious." Arlen allowed himself a brief smile. "Caution is our advantage. Prepare a message. Broadcast across subspace. Humanity does not negotiate with threats. Humanity fights, and humanity wins." The message sent waves across the void. Somewhere, in distant systems, alien leaders intercepted it, confusion and fear spreading through their ranks. For centuries, species had underestimated Earth, dismissed its strength. And now, the truth could no longer be ignored. Suddenly, the fleet of unknown ships shifted, forming a pattern that seemed deliberate. They were scanning, testing, trying to understand what they faced. And in that moment, the human fleet surged forward, engines blazing, shields glowing. "Engage only if they attack," Arlen ordered. "But stay in formation. Make them see that humanity is united, and we are unstoppable." The alien fleet hesitated, and then, almost imperceptibly, one massive vessel fired a single energy pulse. It slammed into the void near the human dreadnought, but the fleet responded instantly. Shields flared, weapons fired, and the pulse was neutralized before it could cause damage. The message was clear: humanity was prepared, precise, and lethal. Arlen's eyes swept across his bridge crew. "Every strike we take must count. Every decision must be perfect. This is our message to the galaxy. Underestimate humans, and you pay the price." The unknown fleet began to withdraw, scanning the battlefield one last time. They had no desire for a full confrontation. Not yet. Humans had proven something that no legend, no rumor, no alien arrogance had predicted. Humanity could fight, could survive, and could dominate when pushed. Mara's voice broke through his thoughts. "Captain, they're retreating. We've done it. The galaxy will think twice before challenging us again." Arlen nodded slowly. "Yes. But remember, this is only the beginning. Every species we meet, every empire we face, they will all learn the same lesson. Humans are not weak. Humans do not beg. Humans do not surrender." The fleet began its slow journey back to Sol, each ship battered but unbroken. Colonies that had feared invasion now prepared celebrations instead. Humanity had sent a clear warning across the stars. They had survived impossible odds and emerged stronger, united, and undefeated. Arlen turned to Mara. Prepare a full report for Earth Command. Every detail, every tactic, every loss and every victory. The galaxy must know what humanity can do. And we will always be ready. Mara nodded, her fingers already flying over the console. Captain, they will remember this day forever. Humanity has changed the galaxy. Arlen gazed out at the stars, calm and determined. Somewhere in the distant reaches, new threats would rise. But humanity had shown the galaxy a simple truth. When humans fight, they do not lose. When humans strike, they do so with precision, courage, and unstoppable will. The final words from the dreadnought echoed across the void, broadcast to every system, every fleet, every listening species. You wanted war. You got it. And this is only the beginning. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not beg. Humanity fights. And we always survive. As the fleet jumped to hyperspace, leaving trails of light across the dark canvas of space, the galaxy fell silent once more. But now, there was respect. There was caution. There was fear. And above all, there was one undeniable truth: humanity had awakened. And the stars would never be the same again.